Oh, sure. I'll set it up and I'll let you two duke it out. But Shedeur didn't throw at the combine last year, and there's a lot of talk about it. A lot of people were upset. Now, this year, Fernando Mendoza is not throwing at the combine. He will throw at Indiana's Pro Day, just like Shedeur did, where multiple pass catchers that Mendoza is trying to help showcase. Similar to what happened in Colorado last year. Shedeur did that with Travis Hunter and all their guys that got drafted. They had 3 or 4 receivers, Jimmy Horn Jr., LeJontay Wester. All those guys made the pros. There hasn't been a ton of backlash to the Mendoza not throwing at the combine, especially when you compare it to the backlash Shedeur didn't get, or that Shedeur did get when he didn't throw at the combine. So, when you look at the two situations, are they similar? Should they be similar? And why do you think there's a difference in how the two quarterbacks are being perceived for not doing the exact same thing?
You know what I got to do? I got to do this. Oh. I got to throw the flag.
Flag.
He's even got a beanbag.
I got to throw the flag. I got to throw the flag, and we got to get to this.
Who's the flag on?
Flag, come on in.
Who's the penalty on?
Penalties on the internet. Doing too.
You're not wrong.
Doing too much on the internet. 15-minute penalty off Netflix. 15-minute penalty off YouTube. 15-minute penalty off Instagram.
What about all social medias?
That matter of fact, you know what?
Suspension.
Another flag.
Multiple flags. Wow.
Another flag. All social media accounts, you got to chill out for at least a day. You've been upgraded.
What is the call for that? Like this is unsportsmanlike conduct.
Unsportsmanlike tweeting.
No, I think here it is.
Yeah, listen.
No social media.
Twitter fingers.
Rest your thumb.
Yeah. Twitter fingers is on you. Let me tell y'all this, man. It's out of pocket. Guys. I try to tell everybody.
See, we agree on
this. Guys.
Oh, we all agree.
Guys.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. When you getting something in life, we moving forward.
Yep.
We're not looking backwards.
Yeah.
If you at a different level, I'll compare it to this. When you playing in college and you playing in high school, everybody done went from high school to college, right? And you be indoctrinated in college. You be indoctrinated in high school, what you've been doing. You leave, come back in different semesters. You come back like you the big dog. Yeah, y'all little kids, in college, they don't even wake you up. You gotta have your own responsibility. You know
no one to get you off class.
Mom ain't making you no breakfast. You gotta be up to class 8 o'clock, bro. And we gotta be lifting in the morning. Yeah, y'all, that's light. You lift after school. In college, they lift in the morning and after work. Y'all don't even know. So you get back, you be the big dog on campus. You know why? Because you're at a different level. Shedeur Sanders at this point is at a different level.
Yep.
Fernando Mendoza is of no consequence. Coach Prime ain't thinking about Mendoza. Shedeur ain't. Shiloh, nobody. Matter of fact, Todd Munkett ain't thinking about him. Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Berry ain't thinking about him.
How bad is this backlash? Because I haven't seen it.
It shouldn't even. It should be it's a nothing burden.
Is it everywhere? Like people on Twitter, everybody's tweeting.
There's a lot of people talking about the fact
that everybody is.
But guys, you got to understand, Shedeur Sanders needs to be somewhere right now worried about getting his receivers ready. He ain't worried about none of that, bro. He got an opportunity right now to be a starting quarterback. He has an opportunity. He worried about Deshaun Watson. He worried about what they doing. He worried about learning the playbook. Like the Mendoza thing, look, life don't be fair. If you go to a job or you doing a job interview, Mendoza don't have to throw. You know why he don't got to throw? Because the Raiders already done told him they going to draft
him. He's an overwhelming #1 draft pick. Why would he throw?
They done already told him.
Shedeur wasn't in that spot.
So if that's what, but that's on Mendoza and the Raiders. We got to start getting down to what we doing. What we doing is worried about what we doing in this building, getting your mind together. And if you want, everybody goes through their own struggle. You can't fast forward the struggle. You can't fast forward. You can't say, well, he got this and he got that. That's not what it's about. It's about you got the opportunity. God put you here. He put you in a place to maximize. He put you in a place to grow. He told you got to go through certain things. That growth cannot be fast forwarded. And right now, the thing that you want to do is I'm trying to be a CEO of an organization. I got to worry about Myles Garrett and how they looking at me. We're not worried about no Mendoza. I wish him the best of luck. But it's levels to this. We at different points of our career. Because guess what? When Mendoza come in, he's gonna have to indoctrinate himself and make sure that everybody for the Raiders feel like he's the guy and doing that. So now, that's the goal. We moving forward. We living in the fierce urgency of today and what's in front of you. And he has an opportunity today, and that's all you can guarantee. And I think it's energy wasted if you're talking about another person in the draft process.
It's called whataboutism. And when you're involved in whataboutism, you are focused on the wrong things. I'm one of 5 kids, okay? And when you're one of 5, you learn pretty early on, oh, I'm only going to get what I win. I'm not going to get 1/5. I'm not going to get fair and equal. My parents had a saying. I used to hate it, but man, was it true. I would complain about, well, my brother got this. What about it? And I would say, well, that's not fair. And I stopped saying that because you know what's coming next.
Life ain't fair.
Life ain't fair. Learn how to deal with it. None of that's going to matter how you progress as a human being. None of that's going to matter what grades you get. None of that's going to matter whether or not you win a varsity spot as a freshman. That doesn't matter.
Nope.
Only thing that matters now is what you do. And I learned early on that was a hard truth. First of all, if you're a Shedeur Sanders fan, you're losing, to your point, you're losing the focus.
Yep.
The focus isn't about Mendoza and what he may or may not get. And by the way, there are levels to this. When you are a overwhelming number 1 first pick in the draft prospect, you have the gold, you make the rules. And I'm not going to do it. Now, for Shedeur, and I think a lot of people have forgotten about this. A lot of people were like, I don't think there was ever much of a question that Shedeur was going to go no one said he was going to go number 1. But there were a lot of people that thought Shedeur would go number 2.
He was in the conversation for sure.
He was. And then as we got closer to the draft, it was like maybe top 10. And then I think it was Schefter was the first one to say, I don't think he's going to go in the first round. And everybody's like, what? What are you talking about?
McShay was first.
Okay, McShay was first. And then what ended up happening, he was a 5th round draft pick. Well, at that point, you can ask yourself, what did I do to precipitate this? I was a number 2 at one point, and then a first rounder, and then I eventually went in the 5th. Well, what did I do? Maybe it was what he didn't do. If you want to make sure, if you're not the number 1 pick, I would tell everybody, you better run, you better lift, you better throw, you better do the interviews with purpose. Because you're on a job interview at that point. And I think the mistake that Shedeur made, and one day he may talk about this, the mistake he made was he thought he was interviewing the teams. And he wasn't. The teams were interviewing him. If you're the number 1 overall, you can interview the Raiders. And you can tell the Raiders after that process is over, I don't think we're a good fit. You better trade that pick because I don't want to play for you. That rarely happens, but it can. But he who has the gold makes the rules. And in Shedeur's case, his draft status was in question. He was never locked in anywhere. So I would tell everybody, other than the locked in one, you better do whatever these teams ask of you. That's the game. I don't like it, but that's how it works. And the fact that Mendoza isn't throwing impacts Shedeur Sanders 0. Yeah. Right now, Shedeur Sanders is in the midst of fighting for a starting job, fighting for a roster spot. That's his focus. He's not thinking, better not be thinking about Mendoza and what he gets to do or what he doesn't have to do. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no. And most first-round quarterbacks, the guys who are expected to go first round, don't throw at the combine.
No, they don't.
And
they
frankly,
have their pro days at home.
And that's more the norm than not. I don't, frankly, give a rat's ass that Mendoza isn't throwing. I didn't care that Shedeur didn't throw last year. Cam Ward didn't throw last year, by the way. Most of the top quarterbacks, Caleb Williams didn't throw. Drake May didn't throw at the combine. Jaden Daniels didn't throw. That is the precedent for these top.
It has become
prospects.
the precedent.
They
used to more
than
through than not.
But now, as we're getting into this new era, a lot of them aren't throwing, and a lot of the backlash. And I'm curious what you think. And Ant says he disagrees with all of us, so I can't wait to hear how Ant feels.
I'm a little on the outside.
This
that's okay.
All the backlash, G. In a way, we're now victimizing Shedeur, and Shedeur and his family have done nothing to do.
He has nothing to do with this.
No, but people
outcry.
People have become victimizing Shedeur a year in advance. When, to your point initially, this has nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders whatsoever.
None.
And yes, life isn't fair. And yes, people get treated differently. And yes, everyone reacts to certain situations differently. But this situation of Fernando Mendoza not throwing at the combine has zero, zilch, nada, nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders not throwing last year, with Cam Ward not throwing last year, with Jaden Daniels and Caleb.
It's just where we are.
And Caleb Williams, and Drake. It has nothing to do. So let's stop victimizing Shedeur from the past. Yeah, if you disagreed with how it was handled then, that's fine, but it has nothing to do with this situation. And next year, when Arch Manning's to throw at the combine, let's not have another outrage because people were mad that Shedeur didn't throw at the combine. Their situations have nothing to do with each other, and I think you're making it a worse situation. And I say you, anyone who has a giant outcry over this, like you're making it harder for Shedeur and for people who support Shedeur because there are some in his fan base. There are a lot of people that are in like the right end of the spectrum. There's a little people crazy on each end, just like in almost anything. Like, let's not victimize him for something that has nothing to do with him. Nothing.
I always tell people, I would say, listen, you know what? I'm happy. I'm happy all them other teams passed on him. All 31 of them. You know why?
He's in the Browns now.
Because he's plays for my team. Yeah. I want him to take them. Like, I don't want you to lose no money, big dog, but you got enough money. Like, you got the bag. You got 7,000 endorsements. I'm excited that the Giants and whoever passed on him 100 times, guess what? He's on my team. I feel like he's going to play. And the only thing you can ask for is you got the opportunity. Can you think about this? I used to, there's some people that have been in this industry for years. Mikey, years. I used to say answer phones, and I used to produce, and I used to basically do whatever I could to get in the game. But guess what? I had to go through those processes to get to here. Now, what does it matter? If you've been in the game 35 years, you did all that. You did all of that to sit right on the same stage with me.
Yep.
So guess what? At the end of the day, it's where you're at, not where you came from. And right now, the opportunity is beautiful. All you need to know, listen, here's what you need to know. Myles Garrett said it. He said, yeah, man. Yeah, what y'all looking at Shedeur? Is he the guy? I mean, we looking at him like that. Oh, well, listen, that's all I need to hear, dog. Yeah. That's all I need to hear.
Nothing with Fernando Mendoza matters.
Nothing.
Exactly.
Let me call up Jerry Jeudy and them folks, and let's get to throwing this football. Ty, what's the playbook? That's all we doing.
And you said you're on the outside. What do you disagree
my point
with?
Pretty quick because I want to get to hockey. But I don't know. I think if we were looking into drafting Mendoza, think about how many topics we did last summer on breaking down everything Shedeur did. And the fact that it's just like, hey, Mendoza's not throwing. Let's move on. I don't know.
But hold on.
I understand.
He has a point.
Hold on. I'm not saying I'm on like the same side, but there is something to be said about, hey, like these guys are all good, but Shedeur had to do it.
So this is what I've always said about Shedeur, which is unfair to Shedeur.
Yeah.
Shedeur is a victim of his last name. A lot of people want to say, oh, he's a product of his last name. No, I don't believe that. Because in the NFL, I don't care what your last name is. NFL is look, you get what you earn. Yeah. It is a meritocracy. He may have gotten a chance here or there or turned heads here or there because of his last name. But I think his last name has worked against him since he went to Colorado. And here's why. Everybody wants to say, oh, he's just there because he's Deion's kid. Well, that has hindered him in the NFL process. Why did we talk about him a million times during the lead up to the NFL draft?
He's the most popular athlete.
Because he's a lightning rod.
Yes.
We're in the business of clicks. We want people to watch us. We're not here so no one watches. We're here because we want to maximize our audience. We found out very early on, how do you maximize your audience? Well, you talk about things that your audience wants to listen to.
Yeah.
What was that? It didn't take us long to figure it out. It's not rocket science. Shedeur.
And
that's why we break down how he walks. Is he pigeon-toed? or every little thing gets a check on it. And I feel badly for Shedeur for that.
And to your point, and Ant, real quick, Cam Ward was in the conversation too, right? Cam Ward didn't throw at the combine last year.
And how many people were dinging Cam Ward last year for not throwing? Nobody. You know why? Because his last name wasn't Sanders.
You know the crazy part about it is Mendoza will find out just like Shedeur do. Yeah, it's cool. We don't care how you got here. Because after a while, in 2 years, nobody cared where you drafted at.
Nope.
It's about what did you do on 3rd and 7.
That's
it's about what did you do when you was down 4 or 5 points and you needed a touchdown. What did you do when you had to come back down from 14 and throw it 60 times? Those are the things that you will eventually keep you on the field or get you up off the field.
Particularly at quarterback, G. At quarterback, It is, I always call it the most difficult position in sports to play, the most impactful position in sports to play, and also the most difficult position in sports to scout. If you don't believe me, go take a look at the first round quarterbacks that have been complete busts. Did anybody think Jamarcus Russell was going to be a bust? No. No one thought he would be a bust. Everyone thought he was a can't miss. The big question of my lifetime regarding an NFL draft was whether or not Peyton Manning, who really had an unbelievable college career and had the name, his dad was an NFL quarterback, but everybody wanted to know, was it going to be Peyton Manning or Ryan Leaf?
Yep.
One of them became one of the greatest passers of the football of all time, and one of them infamously washed out of the game in train wreck fashion for all of us to see. So if you don't realize how difficult that position is to scout, understand that about 50% of the NFL scouts at the last poll before the draft were going to take Ryan Leaf, number one. Mm-hmm. About half. And they went like this once they hit to the pros. None of your college thing matters. The second you step foot on an NFL field, now it all becomes about, what do you have now? And what can you do? And we'll find out.
You know what's so crazy, Jay, is like a lot of people, I talk to a lot of Shedeur fans, and I always said at the end of the season, I said, guys, you won. People say, what do you mean you won? And you didn't play that well. I said, no, let me just give you the statistics. He came in as a 5th round pick. He came in, he was 4th on the depth chart.
Started 7 games.
Do you know how difficult and what moves had to be made and the way things fell for him to even be number 1 on the depth chart and play that many games?
2 trades and an injury.
And 2 trades and then you had to at least show something. You couldn't come out here and be. You had to throw. You had to show something. You at least got to show his throws. You got to show some accuracy. You got to show some come from behind moxie, and then for you to be able to do that on a limited playing time, enough that the general manager and the owner said, you know what, we might not be sure about it, but we want to give you an opportunity to come in next year and potentially earn the starting job.
He didn't fumble it away yet.
Do you know how hard that is? That is difficult. So for him to do that,
especially with a team with no offensive line and wide receivers,
you're in contention. So now it's a new lease on life. You got a new coach. Go out there and impress him. You got new weapons you're going to get. Go out there and throw to them. You got an opportunity that if you felt like the old coach didn't like you, if you felt they wasn't sold on you, you got an opportunity to prove yourself to a brand new regime. You got a new lease on life. Then the last thing we're going to do with a new lease on life is look backwards and talk about Mendoza.
Yeah, what kind of treatment is he getting by but I don't even know, who was the backlash from, media or fans?
I don't know.
Fans?
I can't believe you guys have me on the side of the Shedeur fans too, but there was a double standard, and it's because of his name. You literally just admitted it, Jay.
It is.
My point.
Oh, no.
Admitted, I completely agreed with you.
It is.
Yeah, okay, so we're on the same page here.
And listen, I said that last year, even before he was a Cleveland Brown. I actually said, I feel sorry for the young man because he's got to carry the weight of the last name of Sanders. And look,
it is.
There were points last year where I was worried that the circus was going to explode. It is not a good look to have, I don't care if he's one of the greatest cover corners of all time. It is not a good look to have Deion Sanders on the Brown sideline. It is not. And I don't think that does any favors at all to Deion Sanders or to Shedeur Sanders. But that's where we are. And I hope if there was a lesson learned from last year, and look, he should be able to root for his son however he wants to. But I don't think you need to be down on the field before the game. Quite frankly, I think that takes the shine away from Shedeur. Because what happens when Deion walks onto the football field? You guys saw it.
All eyes, cameras,
and every reporter, shoo, it's like a beehive around the man. And Shedeur even recognized this. Shedeur said last year, no, Dad, I'm cool. Watch the game on TV. I don't need to have you come here. Because is that going to be a positive thing? I don't see how that ever becomes a positive thing. For Deion, from his press conference in Colorado, to be even asked about Shedeur, I think that is malpractice by reporters in Colorado. They're not there to cover him as a dad. They're not. If they want to talk about that off camera and off record, that's fine. But understand, when you ask Deion Sanders a question, you are going to get an answer.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem for
part of the
Shedeur
game.
is if he starts saying, man, and he's made comments like this, hey, some of the things he had to work through, like now it sounds like, oh, Deion's questioning the coaching staff. Deion's questioning the general manager. That can never end well for Shedeur. So I just hope in year 2 for Shedeur, my sincere hope for him and the Browns is less noise.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
Less Deion coming to camp.
Nah, that's not
less
gonna happen.
Deion on the sidelines, because I'm telling you, as the circus builds, it usually ends in a negative crescendo. It's not a good thing.
Well, listen, Coach Prime is Prime. Coach Prime he's going to do that. Like he's going.
Well, guess what?
He's going to support
Mendoza won't have to fight through that.
Well,
so now Shedeur's at a disadvantage.
No, I think
because he's got to fight through that circus.
No, I think he's born in that. Like
he doesn't need that. This is the NFL. He's got enough things on his plate.
What I'm saying is he has always been in the spotlight. You are who you are. You either shirk away from it or you live up to it. And he's been in front of the camera.
Do you think Shedeur would rather have that circus like Dad on the sidelines every game?
Oh yeah, he embraces
he asked his dad to stay home.
No,
I think he embraced it too.
He embraces that.
Yeah, I think it's a mistake.
I think what he did was the reason why he said stay away was because he understood this. I'm not playing right now. And I'm going to concentrate on getting in here and making sure that I can get myself to be a quarterback. And you can come see me when I'm playing. But right now, my head is down. I'm focused on trying to do what I needed to do. And I like that because what he did was he didn't make it a spectacle. He didn't say, Dad, come on down here when Dylan is playing. Because out of respect for Dylan Gabriel, it's like, okay, well, Prime is here. He visited Shedeur.
Well, no, of course not. He wouldn't.
So Shedeur say, nah, be cool.
But that was in the preseason when Shedeur was going to play, and he knew he was going to play. And Shedeur said, no, I'm good. You can stay where you are.
And I think he did that out of respect.
How many other NFL players' dads are on the sidelines?
I mean, well, it's Prime. You know, it's different.
Well, Christian McCaffrey's dad was a pro player. I mean, wasn't Deion Sanders, but
he's not Prime.
Yeah, I don't care. But did you ever?
He's not Prime.
You didn't see the man when
Myles Garrett's dad was on the sideline.
When Peyton and Eli were playing, you almost never saw Arch. They would show him occasionally in the press box during the game, and he would hide. He didn't want the attention
on the sideline during the game, or just
at any point. At any point.
That's
like
normal.
There is so much that an NFL player is trying to work through, and I just think it's just an unnecessary distraction. In talking about the circus, that a lot of teams said we didn't want to bring the circus to town. That's one of the reasons why the talent might have had something to do with it. But if all things were equal and we got a player with the circus and a player without it, we're going to go without it. So I just think that you're putting barriers in front of him that should not be there. Clear the deck, man. Make it as easy on the kid as you can.
I think he thrives in it. I think that, with NIL, people see celebrities on the sidelines the entire games. There's famous people. Prime came down. He wasn't on the sideline during the game.
The beauty about the NFL is you really don't see a lot of the celebrities on the field. You really don't.
Pre-game,
you watch college. College is insane, by the way.
Yeah.
College is just ridiculous.
Well, college sidelines are a mess. But pre-game, there are
they control it. They do a really good job of controlling it. Like, in what capacity was Deion on the field, and how is that allowed?
I'm just saying pre-game at NFL games, and I just because from videos, a lot of parents are on the field. I don't think that's
No, it's really not a lot. It's not what you would think.
I've
been on the field many times for NFL and for college.
I don't
college
think
is
college
college is
absurd.
I don't think it's a big deal.